Hello, everyone, and welcome to the We Check-In. We're so glad that you're here with us today. We are checking in with Pastor Javen. We're checking in with Pastor Javen, gospel recording artist, author, and we're excited about that. But before we get into our check-in and bring him on, let us know where you are checking in from. It's our time together. It is our Friday night. So as you come on in, share this broadcast with a friend. Tell us where you're checking in from. Tell us how you are doing. We do appreciate you. Now let's go ahead and recognize our sponsors. We have some sponsors who've always come alongside the Right Encouragement brand, and we always want to make sure that we do recognize them. So first up, we would like to recognize our sponsor, True Heart. The Right Encouragement's We Check-In is sponsored in part by True Heart. They have a wonderful line of trendy clothing centered in positivity and love. So you want to check out their website at trueheart.bigcartel.com and let them know that you did hear about them on Right Encouragement's We Check In. Next up, we have JW Publishing House. If you're considering becoming an author, they can help you with all of the aspects of that journey, especially picking your topic. That is a very big deal. They can help you with that title. And if you already have a book, they can definitely help you to scale your marketing and get things to the next level. So you want to reach out to them. They can definitely help you. And we have the Right Insurance Firm. Their team will provide you with the right life insurance coverage for the entire family. No case gets denied, so contact them today for a free quote. So thank you so much to all of our sponsors. For those of you who are checking in, thank you so much for being here tonight. We are checking in with Javen, and we are so excited. And before we go on and bring him on to do our talk and our check-in, let us have our Right Encouragement moment. Now, every week we like to just take a moment and talk and have that encouragement to bring us through the next couple of days. And this week's encouragement moment is this: invest in yourself. I want that to sink in for a moment. You want to invest in yourself. When you invest in yourself, you are sending a powerful message to yourself and to the world. You're saying the value and potential that I possess is important. It is important enough that I'm going to give it the energy, the money, the time, and the space to grow and to create results that will pay priceless dividends for generations and generations to come. So guys, make sure that you are investing in yourself. It is the best investment that you can possibly do. All right. So that is our Right Encouragement moment for this week. Thank you all for checking in and for being here with us tonight. So we are ready to bring on our guest. We are so excited. Have you guys been seeing the post all week? Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for sharing and engaging with us as we've given you the what on who's going to be coming on tonight and the book that we're going to be talking about. So of course, as you can probably imagine, Javen has an extensive bio because he's done so much. He's impacted the lives of so many people. But I'll share just a little bit of it with you before we bring him on. Formerly of Los Angeles, California, Javen is a classic example of a musician who has the dynamic talent of singer, songwriter, actor, pastor, speaker, author, and TV host. Javen's universal appeal is the very attribute that sets the tone for his career and got him public recognition. Building his music and film career on a foundation of integrity and faith has earned him critical praise and audience approval. We know that he starred in numerous stage productions. He's also been presented with the Lifetime Achievement Award from the White House and President Barack Obama for his humanitarian efforts in the community. And he's here tonight. He's here on the We Check-In. So we fam, help me sound off in the chat, send some hearts. Help me welcome our guest tonight, Pastor Javen. Woo! Oh my God. Hello, Pastor Javen. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing good. I'm so excited. I have been on cloud 10 all week. Simply because of tonight, we have been sharing and we're so excited to to have you and to talk about this book. But before we do that, we want to check in with you. How are you doing and how are you staying encouraged?
I'm doing good. It's obviously a very challenging time for all of us and, everybody going through what we're going through. But, I would say because I'm required to keep everybody else encouraged through the word, it encourages me. So I stay encouraged by encouraging y'all, basically. You're always having to be in the word. You're always having to study. And the good news about ministry is when you pour into others, God pours into you. So I would say that's probably the biggest way for me. But let me say this right quick. Congratulations on your show on We. What an incredible platform. I got a chance to peep some of the other past shows, and I'm so proud of you and glad to be here.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. I really appreciate that. And I'll tell you, when I say excited, people use the word freely, but I am really excited about this book. So we are getting ready to dive in. Listen, you see how I'm holding this book so dear to my heart right now? That is because this book has already begun to change my life. And so I thought it was very important, and I'm glad that he was able to make the time because he's very busy producing, doing all of this stuff to sit down and talk with us. Now, normally as I get ready for an interview, you kind of go through the book and you want to grab your highlights and so forth. And I try to make sure that I read the intro and the foreword. But I will tell you this, when I started to read through this book and I got through the intro, it was like something happened. And, I will say that it was an immediate experience because that you have your goals, you have things that you're working on, or you think you know certain things. But this book brought me in, and I've been reading cover to cover because it is really that good. So, and it is actually, the amount of people that have endorsed this book, it's been endorsed by Matt Crouch, president of Trinity Broadcasting, Pastor Torrey Roberts, Sarah Jake Roberts' husband. The list is long. Pastor Paula White, Tim Story, and just so many wonderful people have endorsed this book because it is really great. So, Javen, can you tell us, what was that initial inspiration to write such a book that would take us to a transformational space?
I tell you, it's really been an exciting journey. Do It Now has been I would say, 5-year experience of just really collecting the right material in the right way and making sure I didn't leave anything out based upon what I believe the now revelation is all about. And it's just really been amazing to be able to finally put pen to paper and, hopefully capture most of what I wanted to say in my experience of what it means to understand the revelation of now. What happens in the book, Colleen, is not only do I give information, I would say, or motivation about the concept of making sure you don't miss your now moments and live in your now, but it's also a memorandum, so to speak. So I don't just talk about how to do life better or how to respond better or how to understand purpose, but I also give my life story in many ways in those different subjects. So you don't get somebody just telling you what to do, but rather you get somebody showing you. So the book is more from my failures, I would say, than my successes.
I love that. I noticed that you do share. So we get, another side of Pastor Javen in this book. You shared even from being a teenager, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I love the layout. So guys, this book, at the end of every chapter, there is a portion for you to actually learn and to practice what you've learned and, to really dig in. Can you tell us about that setup?
Well, one of the things that I try to do at Now Church and just my style of always being I'm always mentoring somebody, always encouraging people. My degree is in psychology and family counsel. I believe that the best way to really impact somebody is to get them to show them how to practically apply the information almost immediately. And that's what we do all throughout the book. At the end of every chapter, there's practical exercises that you get a chance to try to establish almost, you could almost not only stop and then apply the information, but you could also do it in a study group. So this book is good for study groups and for women groups or youth groups to really if you know, some people read just to be entertained, and it is an entertaining book. But this I wrote it in a way that if you wanted to read so that it can help you, and so that you could really apply the information, so you could see the transformational change, then that's why you notice also wisdom keys all throughout the book. You know, just so for those that can't keep information a lot, you can just go back to that wisdom key and say, well, what was that? What was the point of that?
I noticed those. I love the wisdom keys. I already have like my top 3, written down. But speaking about the layout and the practicality at the end of each chapter, a lot of times you read a book and you're like, oh, what I read was great. But I actually started like, Word document because I'm answering the question. So you guys will love this because you get to participate in your learning. And I already feel like it's been pulling me like this, like I'm already going to the next level because of chapter 1, the questions that I've answered. So that is really great. Now, guys, get ready for this. I want to set up this question because I really want us to feel almost what I felt, and I know that you can reveal this to us. What would you say, what is now and when is now?
Great question. Well, when I say now, I'm not talking about, just shooting from the hip, as they say, or being spontaneous, although it involves that. Now for me is about, there's a chapter where I talk about not living just with purpose, but living on purpose. So when we talk about now, we're talking about on purpose, making decisions that will take advantage of whatever your current scenario is. So when you walk into a room and you meet a person, you don't just kind of size them up, blow them off, think about your next meeting after that person, but you purposely pay attention to who that person is, what that person is saying, and then engaging in that experience, whatever that is, so that you can purposely get out of it what you need. We know that throughout life, that sometimes it's just the little kids or just a waitress or just a cashier or just somebody that you sit next to in the plane. I made the mistake for many years of putting on my noise canceling headset, which I still like to do when I fly. But I made the mistake, many times I would get bumped up in first class, and I talk about this in the book, and I would just put on the noise canceling headsets and just enjoy the flight, not knowing that next to me was, the VP for Warner Brothers Films, or, the president for Coca-Cola, or, all types of ministry opportunities that I would just miss because I purposely missed those now moments. So now when I get on the plane, regardless if it's coach or first class, I purposely now make an effort to make a connection with that person that I'm sitting next to. And that's a very small example, but it's just little things like that that just causes for your life. You'll be surprised how much your life can change when you live on purpose. You'll be surprised how many opportunities that you'll get when you live on purpose. Somebody said to me, oh, you know everybody in the gym. I said, I don't know everybody in the gym. I just, over the days of coming in and out of here, I purposely talk with people or say, hey, and hey, listen, it might be a mechanic that can fix your car. Okay. That's living in your now. You never know. Might be somebody that can get your hair done, get your eyebrows did for a cheaper price than where you're going. Yeah. Yeah.
You never know. You never know.
You never know.
And I like that you gave even that small example because it is from the little things to the big things. And as I started to read through chapter 1, I started to think, how many times sometimes I may not be present, in the now when I'm missing out, on so many things that's happening. And that even with you launching this book in the middle of a pandemic, now that was, I don't know what that process was like. Like, how did you get to that point? Because most people now would probably say, you know what, let me see what 2021 looks like when things look a little better. But you kind of went against that grain and here we are. So what was that internal process like for you?
Hey, listen, Colleen, you make a very good point. I'll tell you, it literally made me put, I would say, how people say, put your money where your mouth is, because the book was scheduled to be released in April. And then they pushed it back. The publishing company pushed it back to July. And at that point, we were thinking that, a lot of this would be behind us for the most part. Obviously, that wasn't the case. But I just, not to go spiritual, but I know that all things work together for the good of them that are called according to His purpose. So I would not anticipate releasing a book or releasing anything in the midst of a pandemic. But God knew that this would happen. God knew that this timing would be just the way it was. And so knowing the power of now and knowing what it means to do it now, I went ahead with the team and said, let's just move forward and let God's will be done. The interesting thing I can tell you is just like how when we started the show and you started talking about how when you read the book just to kind of get a couple of little nuggets, there's a video I'm going to post on my social media platform in the next few days from another young lady, Dr. Carol, out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I just was there about 2 weeks ago and I did a TV show. And when I walked in, a powerful woman, and when I walked in, she was almost in tears saying, I really picked your book up just to get some nuggets to ask you some questions. She said, I haven't put your book down. I've read it from cover to cover. This book is ridiculous. And I asked her, I said, would you mind just kind of doing a quick post and letting people know what your experience was with? She said, absolutely. So they just sent that to me today. I'll be posting that over the next couple of days. And you're going to hear how something that she was going through in her current pandemic, in her experience, how this book spoke life and direction to her. So I believe Do It Now, it was released. It ain't released in the way I wanted it to be released, but it's released in the way God wants it to be released. Because I believe that if folks will get their hands on this book right now in this current situation, it will really give direction, because I had a lot of personal pandemics. Listen to what I'm telling you. Yeah. I was going before the pandemic. Javen had already had so many. I'm so cool with this situation right now because of all that I've been through. What? I mean, and so I talk about those pandemics in the book and how it brought greatness, because I really believe that great things come out of great trials.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I can relate with that lady, because I've had my experience already, and I'm deep into chapter 3 by now, and great things do come out of those scenarios. And, I love the tagline, because I think you were just saying it kind of brought you to say, okay, now I'm talking about now, so let me do it. And the tagline is, why wait for better when your best is right now? And some people get stuck because of the scenarios that they've gone through, like you just talked about, and one thing about the book, and I'll ask you to add more to this, it's written in a way where anyone can pick it up and find value, whether you're a woman, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether, a man, pastor, whoever it is, you can see and find some help out of this book. It will pull you to the other level. So for anyone who you have, especially college students too, because you shared some things about even, college, it's a well-rounded book, and the tagline is everything. Now, we are living in a time when some people are looking at other people and saying, this person is doing this and this person is doing that. How would you say that the book kind of brings them to their now purpose and pivot them from doing that?
Well, I want to go back, and you said something about not getting stuck. And it's so funny. There is a section in one of the chapters where I talk about don't get stuck, and how that you can go through something, but you don't have to be what you go through, and how that you learn from your past, but you don't stand in your past. All of these things we talk about all this stuff in the book, and hopefully I'm answering your question the right way. But what I think about when it comes to all of what is being said and going on currently right now, I think it's very challenging for this now generation to be able to do it now. It really is. It's a lot harder than, say, my college years or back when I started in the music career and all that kind of stuff, because there was no social media back in those days. There was no Instagram. There wasn't platforms like this, to where there was always this constant competition that you feel the need to try to live up to, and this facade that you feel the need to try to climb up to. Now, of course, you have some of that in the TV world and other places. And at best, I'm going to tell my age now, MySpace. I remember you were a big ball and shot calling if you had a MySpace
account. Wow.
So and so I've learned that the idea is to not really be concerned at all with what anyone else is doing. And if it's good, then you praise them, you celebrate that.
Mhm.
But it's really important for you to understand, because your now may be helping your grandma, or helping your elderly mother. Your
Hmm.
now may be, spending time with yourself. I couldn't have written this book had I not recognized the richness of being alone and staying
Hmm.
focused, for serious periods of time, because you can't write a book like this, trying to keep up with the Joneses and all over the place. So you got to understand that certain seasons are not for glamour. Certain seasons are not for likes. It's not for, a fan base. Certain seasons are just for you, and sometimes they're just for God.
I love it. You answered it perfectly, because that is a big thing now. People struggle with trying to be like someone else when they're created in God's image uniquely. And I think if they're able to grab a hold of now and understand, then they'll be able to move forward in their purpose and to do what God has called them to do. There's so many pages that I wanted to read. I picked a little bit from page 57. So I'll read just a few lines here. And here is where you talk about I can, I will, I am.
Mm.
And I thought that was very, very powerful, because a lot of times, the mind, we struggle in our mind, battlefield of the mind. I mean, that book is still so relevant, because if we can get past the barriers, the fear, all of that. And you said we are made to be creative beings. Anytime we're not cultivating, creating, and producing fresh things, it takes away from our value and our self-worth.
Crazy, right?
Drop book. You know how you drop mic? Like drop book, just like drop book.
I tell you, even I wrote that stuff. I'm telling you, even when I hear it back, sometimes I'm telling you, it just hits you like a ton of bricks, and whatever that aha experience is for you, that's what I have. Just when you read something like that, but that's really the case. The scripture even tells us we were made, in God's image and in God's likeness. Well, we are here today. Many of us brown skinned, bright skin, many of us tall, short, all the different facets of what human nature looks like. When we look at the creation of the world and the planets, the universe, we see that our creator was a creator and we were made just like him. And I think sometimes we really forget that component about who we are and ourselves. And when we don't create and when we are not creating, you say, and I know a lot of people think, well, that's just for artists, that's just for people that are musical or something like that. But every human, every person on the face of this earth has the ability to create. That's biblical, that's truthful. And when we don't exercise that ability, I believe we rob ourselves of our now, because it's in our creativity that confirmation comes of our purpose, of our destiny, and of our assurance that I'm supposed to be here.
Yes.
When you don't create, you let me say it this way: when you don't create, you miss the opportunity to have an amen of who you are, because
Mm.
your creativity amens the fact that that's why the drunk driver couldn't kill you. That's why you couldn't be aborted. That's
Wow.
why the stray bullet couldn't hit you, because there's still light and purpose that needs to come out of you in the purpose of this earth. Watch this, in your now season.
That is so powerful. And what we have is now, like you're saying. Oh my gosh. I just wish, I wish, guys, I really wish you already have this book. It's on Amazon. We'll list other places. It's on Amazon. You can go get it now. We're going to be doing a giveaway at the end for someone to have a transformational moment like I had. I cannot wait. But I really am embracing this now. And what it has done for me so far, and what it will do for you guys, it actually gives you a new appreciation, like mindset wise, for what God has given me now. I can't worry about the past. I can't, I'm planning for the future, but right now I have to appropriate now. Like I have to seize this now moment. I mean, I don't know. It just really, really got to me, that appreciation. And
Yeah.
you mentioned your mom in the book, which I love. Anytime I see anything about mom, I love your mother. She's amazing. It's like, oh, Mommy Sylvia. But you mentioned, when you were younger and you were a teenage father. which some people may have not known. So I love the fact that you're so, real and open in the book, like you share so much. And you were probably thinking, like you said, maybe, what am I going to do now? But she was someone that, kind of pulled you. Can you tell us a little bit about how she activated a now moment for you?
Yeah, I think that we all have these now moments in our life. And I think that's one of the things that happens in what I've been hearing. When you start reading the book, you'll start recognizing different strategic now moments in your life, some that you were a part of as far as in initiating, and then some where someone initiated in you. And that, the section you're talking about, my mom initiated a now moment. I was about 18 years old, 17 years old, sitting at the breakfast table. And I was getting ready to bring my then son into the world with who was then my high school sweetheart. And it was extremely embarrassing situation, as you can imagine, being a teenage boy of a very prominent Christian family, a very prominent religious family, strictly religious family, back in the late 80s, when there was very little space for grace and mercy back in those days. So it was a really big deal. It's about as low as you can get in that age, in that time. And when I had, when the news had started coming out, it started getting so bad that I literally thought that whatever my life was going to be, because I had already dreamed of doing movies and doing albums and being on TV. I had already dreamed of traveling the world and all that kind of stuff. I thought for sure all of that was over, and I would have to continue on with my job, my $6.25 job at Wendy's. I was getting ready to be the produce manager.
Oh, you were moving up the ladder, huh?
I was gonna have to move up the ladder to buy Pampers and that kind of thing. And my mom changed the trajectory of my life with just 2 words: nothing changes. Breakfast Table, 1989. Javen, wow. Nothing changes. And I just will say this for parents and for people that are responsible for teenagers or young people, do it now. This book, I promise you, even if you're tired of talking, grab the book and give it to somebody, because it literally changed the trajectory of the ship of my life. My life, Colleen, I was headed towards purpose. When this situation took place, it took the ship and it turned it back a completely different way. And I thought, that was going to be my life, and God knows what was going to happen to me from that point on. And Mom comes to the breakfast table that morning and changes the ship of my life, the trajectory of my life, turned it all the way back towards purpose. I went down into my room that same day, began to apply and plan for college, and the rest is history.
Wow.
I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you today with this book you wouldn't have been able to read that bio that you read of mine, had mom not take advantage of that now moment. That's how crucial your now is, because you talked about your past and let go. I talk about in the book about how that you have to understand your past. And in it, I purposely say understand. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to change it. You don't have to be embarrassed of it. You don't have to celebrate it. All you just need to do is just understand it so that you can project in your now where you're going and be able to fulfill what becomes your future, because you're always in your now. Now is eternal. You're never in your past. You're never in your future. You're only always in your now.
Wow. That is awesome. I love that, guys. I feel like this book is replacing what your mom did for you. This book is doing for us right now. It is sitting down with us, and it is in the mirror with us, and it's saying, you have this now. Nothing changes. So guys, for those of us who've been through some things, and I think all of us, as I look at some of the names of the We Fam that's on here, you've been through some stuff, but it doesn't define you. You still have your now. Nothing changes. You can still push forward. We just got to understand it, right? Understand the past, but we don't have to celebrate it. We don't have to even write about it if we don't want to.
Well, I'll tell you, right? And I'll tell you this, even if it's a good thing, even your good past can get you in trouble with your current situation. Because there's somebody right now that's thinking, well, I used to have this, I used to have that, so now it's not that good. Trust me, all of it, good, bad, or ugly, it's still in your past. It's still a done deal. As long as you understand what that was, that was then, this is now, you're good. You're good.
Wow, love it. Guys, I want to share these quick wisdom keys. There's several of them throughout the book that you'll see, but I chose 3 that really hit me right here, and it's already in my heart. So I want to share them with you really quick, and then we will do our giveaway. So one is, and wisdom keys, again, throughout the book, you'll see these nuggets. You have been designed to move forward. Let that marinate, y'all. Just let it marinate. All right. You've been designed to move forward. Life is designed to challenge you. Don't let the challenge become your struggle. We got to define a challenge from the struggle. Like that needs an entire hour to talk about the challenge from the struggle, you know? And yesterday never comes again. Wow. I love it. I love it. This book is everything, guys. Make sure that you do go over to Amazon. Whoever doesn't win this book right now, you want to head over to Amazon. So I have in my mind a question to throw out, you know, and whoever types it first, we have our team that will be checking the chat to make that person the winner. But I was going to let it go to you, but I'll go ahead and go with this question. If you can type in, and this is to win an autographed copy, our team is going to get an autographed copy for you from Pastor Javen. So what is the subtitle of this book? Do it now. What is the subtitle? If you want to think it in your mind as the slogan, what is that for the book? And whoever types that in, you will receive an autographed copy of the book. After this, you'll just inbox me with your address and we will have that sent over to you. And we are checking to see that. Now, while you're typing, Pastor Javen, I know we mentioned Amazon. Is there anywhere else that people can get the book? Can you tell us all about that?
Yes, you can get the book on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle. Ebooks, those of you that like to read your books on your iPad or whatever, it's available at Barnes & Noble. If you do your books on Nook, you can get it. It's available on Nook. And then, of course, you can go to our website, javenonline.com. If you want an autographed copy, you can go to javenonline.com and you can pick the book up there. But it is available pretty much wherever books are sold. If you go into a Barnes & Noble or store and they don't have it, you can have them order it and they can get it to you, but it pretty much is available wherever, any platform, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, wherever books are sold, you can pick it up. And I encourage you to do that today. Those of you that do grab it, please tag me in it at Javen Online. We love to take all y'all pictures and then repost them to make you feel special, and it helps. And there's nothing like testimony. So yeah, you got to take a picture. Let us know.
Awesome. And one thing I do want to mention, because, you know, aside from this book, for those of you who are on here, who are TFC family members, you guys know that we love Javen, and, you know, he's blessed our ministry so many times with his music and just, you know, the word of God. So as you go out to support, make sure that you show up big and that you do take the picture and tag him so that, you know, he'll have those pictures. All right, awesome. So, all right, from our We team, who do we have as the winner? Who is going home or waiting to get in the mail a copy of the Do It Now book? And, we have Why Wait for Better When Your Best Is Now. Javen, is that correct?
That is correct.
That is correct. Woo, woo, woo. Awesome. Congratulations, Iva. You are the winner of the Do It Now autograph book. So go ahead and on the Write Encouragement page, make sure you're liking the page, but go ahead and give us your address and we will send that over for you. Thank you so much. Thank you all for chatting with us and being here to hear about this book. I can't give you everything in the book because I want you to have the experience that I had when I started to read this book, the transformational experience that started to pull me to a higher place. Javen, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Colleen. I really appreciate it. And to the We family, thank you so much for letting me come and hang out with y'all. I do want to say real quick, invite everybody. First, I want to get a shout out to my church. I feel bad if I didn't say something right quick about the Now family. I love y'all. Thank you so much. This coming Sunday, starting in just 2 days, we kick off our 7 days of summer revival. Bishop Henry Fernandez is going to be one of our great speakers, along with Bishop Terrell Fletcher from San Diego, Pastor Samuel Rodriguez, and a host of other singers and worship leaders. It all starts this Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. And then every night at 7:30 p.m., it's going to be summer revival at Now Church. So definitely join us there. And thank you so much again, Colleen, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for sharing that. I'll share the flyer, guys, and make sure that you're following on Instagram. You saw the information on the bottom, Javen Online and Javen Campbell on Facebook, and make sure that you do tune in for the revival. Thank you all so much. Until next time, remember that the right encouragement goes a long way. We'll see you next time.